Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Technology has totally transformed the stock exchanges around the world. Uh, Back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, it used to be for the last 200 years, stock exchanges around the world would be manual trading, manual shouting and doing the trades of the stocks. It used to happen until the 90s here in the stock exchange, here in the trading hall as well. With advent of technology, obviously that has finished. Now everything is done electronically. The speed, the access, the volumes have increased purely because of technology. Now you don't need to sit in the stock exchange or nearby to do transactions. Initially, when technology came in, it was on a secure lease line network, and brokers and their clients could do it sitting in their offices or homes, but connected through leased lines. Now with internet and now last change of mobiles, it has expanded much further. Now you don't need to be sitting in front of a computer and doing any trade. You can do it over your mobile. The reaction time, speed has all increased. So effectively, it's the whole trading. Everything is now purely electronic. In Pakistan in the 90s, it was initially from where the first trading used to be till 97 manually, and in the mid 90s they introduced last 1 hour of electronic trading as well as in parallel. 97 was the first time when they installed a system called IFA from Canada, and it was a pure electronic trading. From then on, we moved to many generations. Lease line connections or data services were provided in the mid 90s. 97 onwards, the entire premises was all on fiber connectivity, and every office of a broker was connected to our exchange. Many brokers moved outside this premises, and they were all over the city connected over different media. Media has changed from 90s to now, from dial-up connection, the DX6 of PTCL to copper as well as fiber connectivity. So that has progressively moved from those technologies up to now. I believe 2007-8 was when everywhere in Karachi, at least, you had fiber connectivity and you had highly reliable connectivity for high speed all over the city. Mid 90s, 97 is when we had electronic trading fully. Before that, for the few years, it was partial introductory phase, and there were companies who were providing data services rather than trading. Data information on pricing all over. People used to do it over the phones, like they used to in the West. But every investor or broker would call on the phone for the trading, but they would still. The first role of technology and IT was that the data, the prices and stuff were available as data services, just like you see now on the screens and trading. This is a TV channel and on the web as well. So this information, dissemination of pricing was the first step. Then actually trading came in later. Oh, that has consistently gone up, whether it's because of technology or otherwise, but from the 90s, starting from privatization and listing of companies, it is consistently. This KSE 100, which is now today at 41,000, it touched 53,000 index. That is an increase from 100 to how many times? So that's a consistent increase. There are many factors. Technology is one factor, but devaluation of rupee, privatization, a lot of companies getting listed on the stock exchange. So everything has contributed to that. But now with the privatization of the stock exchange as well as mobile technologies coming in, we see a number of investors growing exponentially. To just give you some numbers, that we have registered 250,000 investors who work in Pakistan. Now that we have one common exchange, previously 2 years ago it used to be 3 exchanges, Lahore, Karachi and Islamabad. Karachi was the main one, with Lahore and Islamabad very limited business. After demutualization, it's now one exchange for the country, and collectively we have 250,000 investors, which is pretty stagnant and which is a very low number. To give you some perspective, China has over 200 million investors. But comparing with our peers sort of thing, Bangladesh is a good example, similar population. They have 4 to 5 million investors, and we are at 250,000 only. So Pakistan has lagged behind even in the region like India. India is far ahead, Bangladesh itself. So why is that? Partially the investor production, investor confidence to be in the stocks. So that is what our one of the main goals is. Once this exchange has been privatized, we aim to get the investors into millions. The short-term goal is 1 million, long-term would be 2.5 million, 10 times growth of the number of investors. The 3-year goal, current MD's short-term vision is to take it to 1 million investors in 3 years. Our year starts from 1st July to June. So yeah, the next 3 years starting from 1st July, 17 to 30th June 2020, that's the goal, that to take it to 1 million investors. And then maybe in the next phase, next 3 years or whatever the next 3-year plan we give, but the overall goal is to 2.5 million. We think is a very achievable, realistic number that should be there. But then this is to do with a lot of things, not just technology is one part. Investor confidence, taxes, what government charges on taxes and stuff. So a lot of government policies will have an impact on this. That's the KSE 100 index is a barometer, is a clear indicator of the investor confidence mood, what's happening in the country. We touched 53,000, all-time high. We were one of the best performing exchanges in the region. And then the political turmoil saw it coming from 53 to 41 today. So that whether it's political turmoil, whether it's devaluation, whether there's uncertainty about any other of the indicators. So yeah, it has a clear impact on us, just like it happens all over the world. You have positive news, exchanges go up. When you have negative news, it goes down. It already has. Both, even in Pakistan to a very small extent, and in the West definitely. It's a term called algo trading, algorithmic trading. The computer itself does the trading, and it's based on AI, machine learning, AI, algorithms, you may name it anyway. But it's been happening in the West for a long time, and even in Pakistan, there are software houses who have given some solutions to the brokers, and they do it, machine does it. The brokers use it, all the brokers, the big brokers or track holders, they use these programming technologies. Now how, and everyone tries to keep it a very secret because it's a comparative thing. There are 3 or 4 major vendors who are in this players who are providing solutions. Now what exact solution would be a confidentiality, but there's a company called Vision, there's a company called Catalyst, there's a company from Lahore called Softtech, I think. And then there are recently Mubashir of Middle East, big international name, has come to Pakistan. They are working with JS. Yes, the companies are there. Some individuals have made programs with some smaller brokers. So whether it's a company or an individual or an IT person, but they have made programs which, based on certain rules, do these tradings. So it's happening already. And in the West, it's happening in a big way. I personally know of people who are doing it, companies who are doing very well. They have 10-year contracts with Merrill Lynch and these kind of companies. I have a friend who was my class fellow at FAST, and he's in New York for the last 20 plus years. He has his own company doing it. He used to work for Merrill Lynch, so I know personally my class fellows and stuff who've been doing it in the West. First internet, which really kicked off around the turn of the century, Internet was there in the 90s, but business-wise, how it's been used, that was the first wave where people, instead of leased line or unlimited, that opened up the scope all over the world, sitting anywhere, doing trading. The next wave came in is mobile now. For internet, you'd have to be sitting on a computer somewhere. Mobile, you now do it and carry it and do a transaction, whether you're sitting in the car, traveling in the Europe, anywhere you can do it now. So mobile has taken it to the next level. I don't think so. Two things. Digital currencies, yes. For example, you have mobile wallets. With your mobile wallets, now you can do payments, and eventually you do buying and selling, all digital. There's no physical movement of cash. You have it on your browser or on a mobile phone. You buy, sell, you basic account transfers, and even if you have to move your amounts to your broker's account, you do it all electronically on a mobile phone, and it happens in an instant, in a fraction of a second. So it's all already providing. There's nothing more that cryptocurrency can add to that. What it can add is criminal activities, black money. So from that sense, that people want to evade taxes and don't want to trade in their name. So yeah, these kind of technologies would help. But before they can come in, we are putting more and more strict laws. As you just heard about the amnesty scheme now, till 30th, everyone from properties to bank accounts to stocks, shares, from third-party names, people are now declaring their wealth in the form of stocks as well. So the world is, on one hand, moving towards a stricter control, and these tax evasion, black money, and all those money laundering kind of activities are very strongly monitored, taken care of, starting from the West, starting from 9/11 terrorism to now, and even now Pakistan is facing that problem. You saw Swiss accounts opening up for the last 50 years. At least in my lifetime, I heard that Swiss account is very safe and numbered accounts. Now even they have to open up and declare who are the investors. Panama case was a classical example. All these safe havens for black money are disappearing in the world. And cryptocurrency is again something similar to that, where you want to hide your activities and stuff. So it would have limited, not for stocks and stuff. I don't see any change because we are already digital anyway. So if somebody wants to hide their tracks, there would be laws coming in to block that. It's a very useful tool and a vehicle for people to invest, save and invest and grow their savings. Because for banks and stuff, one, the returns are low. Number two, you need a substantial amount of money. In stocks, you can, even if you have 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees, you can invest. So if you have 5,000 rupees in the pocket, you will not be thinking of going to a bank and putting in a safe deposit or any kind of investment in partnership in any business. If you want, in Pakistan, the trend is buying property plots, and you need to save few lakh rupees at least, or in millions now. So until you save that, the prices go up. Stocks is a typical environment for poor, for lower middle class and kind of general public, where even if they save 1,000 rupees a month, they can put in a stock and they can get dividends. Companies declare dividends. If you don't have the know-how, you can put it in a mutual fund where the people with expertise will invest and you get returns on that. So this is an option. The moment an investor in Pakistan feels confident, he feels his money is protected, and exchange, SECP, Pakistan Stock Exchange, is working on that, where we give the investors confidence. There is an investment protection fund, which always was there, but we are changing laws and publicizing that it's a fund which will cover if a broker goes bust to a certain amount, investment is safe. So by large, the general public's threshold would be covered in that. We are also doing a lot of training, gaming applications. We have a program where our team is going to every university, and we conduct a course and a gaming application, 1 week course, where students are given a pseudo trading app, and they have a competition at the end of the week, whoever is positioned. So that will become not only awareness, it's sort of a training for people to come in. And these are the kind of activities, I've just named two of them, there are many more, which will take us from 250 investors to 1 million and then 2.5 million. It's just like a game. You don't physically move. We've given you a fund. We start with ₹1 million, and end of the week you could make it to 2 million, or you could make. But the actual stock position and feed is coming from live, so the same trading hours, so that it's not a pure game where you can take a price of one stock to 100 times. It will, that the market control will remain there, but you need to make your trades and your know-how based on that. The impact may change a bit, but yes, the booms and busts, whether it's a crash, market crash, or some, are usually triggered by external forces. So if there's panic selling, the market crashes. If there's even based on rumor, people go for buying as well. So the ups and downs happen because of psychological other events, not technology. Yes, the spikes can be controlled to an extent when you have 250 investors. It's a different impact when you have it 10 times more. So with the larger numbers, that impact and stuff can be minimized. But still, I mean, if there's some political event happening, market will go down. The government announces some kind of a tax or something, people will start selling, getting out of it. So those events are triggered by some other action. So in fact, what this technology is doing is making it even faster. If people were selling it all day, now they can do it in 2 minutes. I mean, now the volume, which would be not even a day's volume, can come in a minute because of the advent of technology. It's a continuous process with more and more technology. I'll take it about 2 minutes to explain what we are doing at the stock exchange in terms of technology. After the Chinese takeover, we built a new data center. We're bringing an international state-of-the-art trading platform. We've gone through the procurement process. We're in the middle of it. We are looking at NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange solutions, as well as Chinese Shenzhen Stock Exchange, which is among the top 10 exchanges, and they have a fantastic technology base. So we're bringing in those technologies. The efficiency, the robustness, as well as catering to take it to 10 times or even 100 times the volume currently, that technology will be putting it in place in the next 1 year. We started some process. As I said, we built a data center. We are totally revamping the network in the next 6 months, and within the next 12 months, we will have the new trading application working. That is what we are doing. What I expect from the market force is more and more new programs, automated trading, algo trading. They will go beyond what's current scope. So I expect that to increase as well. And once we have general public getting involved in trading, then a lot new avenues of investment will come in. Right now it's just the regular future markets, but bonds, stock options, derivatives, more derivative products will come in over the next 12 months. But in general, what you need to do is you need to go to a broker who have online facilities. You trade, and then you move your funds from any bank account to their bank account, which is available now in every bank. You can do it through mobile or through an ATM and do a fund transfer. And that's where you start off. Once you've put money in even as low as 5,000 rupees, then you can start trading. So same is the exit as well. Right now, these things are taking, the process is a bit lengthy, paperwork and stuff. The stock exchange is interested, but this involves CDC and clearinghouse. So we're working together with them to make it a very short online process to get on board. And similarly, if we can bring it from 2 to 3 days to a few minutes or hours, you can take your money out as well. Then people will be more liquid. They would invest in stock knowing that they can, if they need cash, they can take it out in an hour or 1 hour or minutes, than right now making an application and getting a pay order or money into their account in the second, third, 3 days, 4 days. so that for big investors it's not an issue, but for small people it is a matter. So yeah, we're working on that. That's another of both onboarding as well as cashing in. We want to further automate and make it a very short process.